Hi, I'm Elle. My pronouns are she, they.
Hi, I'm Mel. My pronouns are they, them.
And you're watching Let's Talk About X, where we have frank discussions that lead to meaningful change.
So today's question actually has to do with consent. And it's from a parent who has recently heard that they shouldn't be pushing their kid into hugging or kissing their relatives. Basically, the question is, why shouldn't I make my kid hug grandma?
And it makes sense that this question's coming up because for so long it has been a normal, accepted thing to kind of give kids a little nudge and be like, go on, give grandma a hug, give your uncle a kiss.
And the reason that we want to move away from this is actually because of the messages that get internalized and what that might mean when it comes to, particularly sexual consent later in life. Because when we're pushing a kid who is feeling really shy or, hasn't warmed up yet, isn't feeling very comfortable, to go and hug or kiss a relative in order to be polite, in order to not upset anybody, whether that's you or whether that's you as a parent or whether that's the other person, we're actually sending the message that it doesn't matter that you're uncomfortable. You need to push through that in order to be polite, to save face, to not make anybody upset. And that's, quite a dangerous message when it comes to sexual consent down the line.
And we're not saying it's not important to teach your children to be polite. Of course it is. But we need to think about this type of thing differently because at the end of the day, it's more important to be teaching that, hey, if you feel uncomfortable with something, it's okay for you to say no, even if you don't want to upset someone.
Especially when it comes to physical touch and somebody touching your body.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course, there are other ways to teach your kid to be polite. Something like saying hello or giving a wave or potentially a high five or something like that. Something that is, a lot less intimate than a hug or a kiss is a perfectly acceptable thing to encourage in order to be teaching politeness.
And things like that can always be modeled in the moment as well. Like you as a parent might feel more comfortable stepping in than the child to be like, thanks for the offer of a hug, grandma, but he's not feeling it today. How about a high five?
Well, you're watching Let's Talk About X. Thanks so much for sending in your questions and for following us. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already.
We run consent and LGBTIQA plus inclusion training for schools and other workplaces. Thanks for your questions and see you next time.